Good afternoon. We're here at the CPAM conference. We just finished up part 2 of our afternoon presentations, and we have Rafael and Warren that's here with us, who just talked about what we do with the concept. Did I do your first name right?
Yeah, it was Ward.
Ward.
Yeah,
Let's
Ward.
make sure we get it right. The whole concept of working with our community and officers. Please tell us about, in a nutshell, why this is so important, this conversation with officers, working with mental health issues, as well as how do we help ourselves in law enforcement? How do we approach this, and how do we get that? Come on, officers and departments and communities, step up to help your community members. Talk to us about your presentation first, please.
Well, I can tell you that mental health issues in law enforcement, folks in crisis, that's what we do. We do it every day. And unfortunately, we have done a disservice to our officers because we haven't given them the training that they need. And so what C.I.T. does and what we do as a team is we bring that training from a law enforcement perspective to officers who work the street. We partner with service agencies throughout the county that they work in, and we build relationships that didn't exist before. Sometimes those relationships are not good. Sometimes they're actually kind of really bad. And the real disservice is to the person that we encounter in the street. So what we want to do is we're going to build those relationships, give those officers tools that they didn't have before to engage people in that heat of the moment, bring them down, have a peaceful resolution, and get them the help that they need. And officers' quality, their enjoyment in their job, it goes up because now they feel like they can actually work with someone instead of either passing the buck or asking someone else to manage that problem. So there's a lot of reward in this work.
Now, we're also going to put information in the blog post. We have a brief summary of the presentation that we've just experienced here at the CPAM conference. And the other part that was really important, and I've got information about how to reach Diaz and the contact information that we'll have in the blog, his email address, so that you can reach him if your community and your agencies don't have a community response team. We want to be able to help make sure that this training we heard today, we take it one step further. But we also heard from an officer who's experienced what we talked about today. Share with us a little bit about why this is so important for officers to step up to the plate and not hide behind, I'm okay when after dealing with a traumatic event.
Well, we are here to talk about dealing with the mentally ill, and we got our soldiers that come back after 10 years of war, and we say, well, we need to deal with PTSD. We need to look out for traumatic brain injuries. But in the course of our careers, how much PTSD, how full are the buckets of the people we're training? So when we take our PTSD section, it's important to us not only to talk about how we would deal with somebody that has this mental illness, but how to deal with ourselves, how to monitor ourselves, and how to make sure we get that time after retirement over and above for all the things we're forced to carry with us. Yeah. And we've been incredibly successful with it. It's been because why, even if we're gonna pass out training, why can't self-healing be part of it?
Totally agree, because this is such a challenge when we're dealing with something during an 8-hour shift. It never leaves.
No.
This is 24/7. This is a part of what law enforcement and emergency service personnel deal with for the rest of their lives. You can put it over here in a little pocket in the corner, but at some point that may resurface and you're going to relive it. Gentlemen, on behalf of all of our CPAM members, I appreciate and really enjoyed the presentation today. We're going to put information again up on our CPAM blog about how to contact and reach these individuals who are here helping all law enforcement personnel from around the state of Michigan learn how to best deal with this concept of not only just what is PTSD and defining it, but how do you set up these emergency response teams for each one of our respective communities. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're in touch.